to a NTV exclusive, and it's with Miss Ericka J and none other than the legend himself, Professor James Hall. This is probably a very high anticipated moment. James and I have been friends for a very long time.
Long time.
Probably at least 20 years. Definitely. And first and foremost, as I said, the legendary. And I've always told James he's a legend in his own right. Musically, he's a freaking genius. Just to watch him do what he does is just mind blowing. And I've always said that to you, and I've always said, and I feel like his recognition has not gotten to that level. He's so untouched. I don't feel like he reached his peak, but it's his time. It is his time. And even with everything he's gone through here recently, when I talked to him about this interview, I said, I want to talk to you. I want to talk to my friend and my brother, because it bothered me that when you went through what you went through, everybody talked around you. Even people that called you friend. But nobody talked to you.
The first thing I did, what did I do? You called me right up. You hit me right on the phone and said, what is going on?
Absolutely.
And that's what friends do.
And before we dig into that, because that's the meat of it, but I want to talk about the essence of just who you are and who you've been and what you've accomplished up until this point. Because people need to see. I feel like while some things we do, some things are designed to do whatever they're supposed to do. And how we go through it and how we deal with it determines the ultimate outcome. So I want to talk about your journey just as a musician. You started out very, very young in the music business.
Yes. I'm a church baby. A church baby.
Born on the pew.
Born on the pew. And it's crazy. You know, those memories of being like a baby, like a child. I have memories of being in the church. My roots is Baptist, which is crazy. My first church name was No Baptist Church. And we would sit in church, and I would have the Bible turned all the way up. And I remember, once I think about that. But what I loved the most about church was the choir singing. It was a choir called the Gospel Chorus, and it was a choir called the Voices of Hope. So when they were singing, I was very excited. And I remember a lady named Sister Black. She used to lead like a lot of songs in the gospel chorus. She would walk the aisles. I just was like, oh my God.
And that makes so much sense because they call you the choir master.
That's I'm talking about age 5, 4 and 5. That's where, that love for that started. And then my mom saw, I take my life into music, and she put me in classical training. I had classical piano training from the age of 5 till my mother passed. My mother passed when I was 12. And I tried to continue on, but my sisters, my brothers didn't force me. So I kind of always think back to where I would be had my mother stayed alive and made me stay. I probably wouldn't be doing what I'm doing.
Because that age is very
12,
almost
13.
defining. That's when you kind of figure out, okay, this is what's supposed to, or this is what I might want to.
Yeah, but my mother was like really, I was sheltered, so she kind of like was handling everything. So when she passed, the good thing is she raised all my siblings the same way. So really not much change, because everything she did with me, she did with them. So when I moved with my sister, she was like, oh no, you still doing the same thing. It's like nothing had really changed, except that figure of her being there. And, my mom we would get out of church on Sundays, and we would go down. Anybody that lives in Brooklyn, about Fulton Street, it's like 1,000 storefront churches. And we would go and we would pop in churches, and she would say, "My son can sing," and put me on the program. So she was really my first manager.
I love it. I love
She
it.
was my first manager. She was also my first stylist.
I love it.
Always
Dressed.
I just posted a picture on Instagram, and everyone was like, "If you were eating," I said, "Oh, most of the I was in a big girl with bow ties for a long time."
But the funny thing is to hear you talk about that and to see where you are now. One thing about family, when there's any type of change, transition, or loss, when there's an age that young, the key to getting through that is kind of trying to keep things as normal as they could possibly be under the circumstances.
And they did. They really did. It's amazing. But it all goes back to Lula May. She did a great job with us because nothing really changed. Of course, every family has their issues or whatever, but for the most part, my mom was a praying woman. She was Baptist, but she was sanctified.
I love it.
She had her prayer time, and we would be like, we would be playing around how she put it. So we knew it was going to be time.
That sounds like my mother.
We had to be quiet. We couldn't be loud, because that was mom's prayer time. We always went, I know she was praying for us. Because I look at my siblings, and God has blessed each and every one of us, even in our wrong and whatever, even if they stray away, whatever. We are all blessed.
Had your mom been sick?
Nope. Nope. She had high blood pressure. Black people sickness, and she was a go-getter. She was president of the gospel chorus. She was president of the floor club. She was working in the school. She drove her bike. She had a dog. She was riding her bike. My mother was, she was always on the go. Always on the go. And just that one time she went out to eat, whatever she ate there triggered something. She had a heart attack and stroke. Just like that.
How was that? I mean, at 12, if you had to go back to that moment, how was that for you?
I can go back to that moment like it was yesterday.
Absolutely.
And I'm way older than 12. But I'm telling you, I remember it was like it was yesterday. I remember. But it's like some spaces that are like empty, and I don't really remember what happened. Like I remember she went out there, and I was home. Now my older sibling Grant, my brother Grant, he had just got married, so I had just got his bedroom because it was 3 boys when I was still up at the house with me, Grant, and Richard. And me and Richard was sharing because Grant was the oldest. Grant got married.
How many siblings?
It was 8 of us. Wow. Now it's 4 of us.
Wow. Now, where did you fall?
I'm the baby.
You're the baby.
I'm the baby. I'm a surprise baby, too. Because when I came, my siblings was like, "Are you serious?" I mean, my brother that's closest to me age is 7 years older than me. But I have a sister that's up there. My sister just turned 69. So, but when my mom passed, it was just like, I remember coming out the room and they were rushing her out. I was like, what's happening? What's happening? So they were dragging down her nose around. They had her in a wheelchair. They were taking her out. And so I'm in the house by myself now. So then my siblings were calling, like, "Stay there, we're coming to get you right now," or whatever. I think maybe, like I said, it's been dark spots. Maybe like one of the neighbors came. Because back then, everybody was,
and the neighborhood was friendly.
The neighborhood was that, and my mother
like
was
your family.
My mother was popular. She used to have a few things going on. So she was popular.
Go ahead, Mama.
Yeah, she was popular. So and she sewed too. So she made outfits for the Sunday. But I remember somebody sitting with me and they said, "Okay, we're gonna your sister's here." And so we went downstairs with me, my sister Joyce, my brother Grant, my brother, we all 5 of them. My older sister Pat was already at the hospital. And we rushed into the hospital and we were just talking about, wow, You know, everybody was giving it. Mommy should probably have me. She probably got some fault. And she's gonna be, you know. We never thought anything crazy. And it's a corner. I don't know the street now. I'm in the St. Mark's. I think about it every time I turn the corner because I remember it's like I have a quick flashback every time I turn the corner. Because now it's not even a hospital anymore. They made it a building, but I still have that moment. When I turn the corner, I think about we was turning the corner. My sister Kat was outside, and we turned the corner, and she was standing outside. She was shaking her head. And we was like, now I like to tell people, my family, we do funerals like it was 1977. we still do them like that. We coming down, y'all gonna hear us when they open the door.
Listen,
we're screaming, we're hollering, we're giving it all, and we turned that street up when because we couldn't even imagine, and we were just screaming and hollering. I would never ever forget that. I don't remember anything happening between that and the funeral except us mine.
So when you got to the hospital, she had already passed, and your sister told you guys.
She said she's gone. I remember saying she's gone. And we lost it. Before we even got into that, we never made it inside. We was all out on the street just screaming out.
So at 12, fast forward, because at 12 you're a preteen. But then you transition into the teenage years, right there. But your mom passing, you having this gift, your mom already identified that gift at a very young age. Let's talk about that transition from preteen to teen without money.
So, some things she kind of had on lock, like with church I go to. Because at I guess about 11, I had started visiting institution for the broadcast. Like if they had something at night, a lady named Patricia, who was my choir director over the kids choir director. She would say, Lulu, let him come on with it. I'll take him down. She was like, man, I don't want to say what she was saying, but she was like, man, I know what's going on down there. And so she was like, man, you watch my son or whatever. So she would let me go. And when I went down there the first time, now, we was a fiery Baptist church. They shouted. We was in the Baptist way. They would sometimes, leave with a bloody nose and stuff like that. It was very wild.
Charismatic. Let's say charismatic.
Very, very charismatic. And when I went to institution, so the young people dancing and stuff.
And knew what they were doing. Listen.
Not only the children, the mothers. I was like, what? She was like, so when I got back to my church, I was like, oh, we got this all wrong. This is wrong what we're doing. We're wrong.
We're not rehearsing this. This is right.
Mimi, who is like my oldest friend, and I said, because Mimi was with us because that's the festival. What is that? What are we doing at our church? We like a fool, And she was like, so we would practice dancing and all that stuff. So after that, when my mom died, I went back to my, we stayed out of church. Back in the day, we grieved at least 2 months. So we didn't go to church for like 2 months. My family was home. When we came back, it was like, it was like a big deal. Back then. We came to church, and it was so sad. We cried all through service because it was like so sad. It was like, and that was her funeral was there. So going back there was just sad. Just sad. And I was sitting there going, and that's because they don't do that.
So did you stop going to church?
No.
At that point?
I loved church. I loved church. So it was never that I stopped. I didn't want to go there.
Okay.
But
you didn't want that reminder.
Yeah. And now let me just jump back a little bit. Now my church choir was a very big church choir. It was like 60 people in the choir. They couldn't sing. But I didn't know what was the issue. I was like, well, we were saying the right words, but I couldn't.
You didn't enjoy the
I was
sound.
like, this is
Not
not.
appreciate
I
the
used to
sound.
say we don't sound like the record. That's what I used to say. I said we don't sound like the record. I said, well, I don't know. But when I came back, a man by the name of Jonathan Sells, which is, I don't know, most people know Travis Sells. That was his father. The way the things set up was crazy because Jonathan came and taught my church harmony. So they were singing in harmony when I came back. I was like, wow, it sounded better. So he started training me a little bit on the organ. And I got better. I started playing for the church group, for trying song. I was playing for her. And we was doing little, things here and there. And I started on institution. Then I met Bishop Figueroa. And so now I'm growing up like 14. And I became Bishop Figueroa's musician. But I was loving that.
Absolutely.
Oh my God. I was with Bishop Figueroa from sun up to sundown. He was really like my father, like for like a season. And we really did like 4 or 5 churches a Sunday. Wow. It was me, him, Dorian, and at that time, Timmy. And it was Timmy at the same. Sheila, guys, Dorian coming in there. I'll be on the organ playing. We was a show. He did this like, we was a show. He would preach.
A whole show.
It was a whole show. And we did that for like, about 2 years. Then I really wanted to go. I wanted to be a student because all my friends were there. Melvin was there. Rich was there. I wanted to be there. And
that was a squad.
Yeah, that was a squad. So I wanted to be there. And Bishop Figueroa was like, no, I'm not invested in that. I mean, I got out of there some kind of way. And when I got the institution, I was like sitting on the bridge. He never showed me anything. He just watched, or just, I would say, just listen. And Melvin had it already because he was raised there. And I was just like,
and in case anybody doesn't know, Butch Hayward is probably one of the greatest.
He is the greatest musicians. He has created the Brooklyn sound.
Absolutely.
He's the father of it. He's the father of the Brooklyn organ sound. And I think I might be the closest one to him.
That speaks so much because you said he never taught you anything.
Never. Nope. And as Melvin got older, he came into his own style, which was still a Brooklyn sound, but he had a twist. Like whenever I hear Melvin playing or anybody trying to sound like Melvin, that's Melvin dance, But we grew up together and we were like, this is it. And that's what I was just doing. I was working at the Children's Choir Institution. I was singing in the expositions. And I was like, that was it. Got into high school. It was a predominantly white school, James Madison High School. It was like nothing unless if you was playing football or basketball, really not for black kids. And me and my friends, we used to hang out. All the church kids would hang out in the lunchroom. We would be singing. I mean, we would start gospel choirs in school. You know, so we went to the principal and we started the gospel chorus.
Wow.
And I was in charge. And that's really how Worship Praise came about.
At this point, you're playing fluent.
Yeah, most definitely. Most definitely.
Without any
I was in the orchestra in school. I still was kind of playing in my classical, but I was faking it because I had stopped my studying. But my ear was so good. But my teacher was on it.
Because you're naturally.
Yeah. So my teacher would be like, that's not in the music. I'd be like, he's like, you're not playing this on that paper. And I'm like, how did he know that? But I wasn't because I was kind of like making my own way. I would listen to them play, because they're going through the clarinets, they're going through this. I was sitting on the side and I was like, I would have the whole thing, the whole suite of the song. By the time I sit down, without one sheet. So I would sit down and play it, and he would be like, no, that's not in there. You're making that up. So that was like the last of my classical days.
But then you started this choir in school. But then that's your teenage years. Now you're coming into, like you said, they started the worship and praise. You brought something to gospel music that did not exist. You brought jazz to gospel.
Yeah. Now, that's a part of, I guess, my life would be my father. He was a jazz musician. Wow. Yeah, he was not the father, the living father. He was the pop in and pop out father.
But he's still the
Oh,
gift.
yes. Let me tell you something. It's amazing to me because, you know, you would think that my father was there every day. But, like, you know, he was like, if he was there maybe 2 or 3 days a week, that was a lot. You know, sometimes he would come and stay weeks. But, you know, he'd pop out and you wouldn't see him. But every night, he listened to a station called WBGF, which was jazz. I used to be like, what the heck? I hated it. I hated it. He would be singing. He would be singing to it. I used to be like, how does he know the words? And I tell you, I do the exact same thing now, my father.
You mentioned your dad being a in and out kind of dad. That Papa was a Rolling Stone syndrome kind of sort of. And while that was in and out, the gift of the jazz musician was very present all the time. So dealing with having this gift, knowing it comes from death, dealing with the absenteeism of your dad, and then becoming a man and coming into adulthood. Talk about that.
Well, for many years, I was an angry black man. Because after my mom died, it was like he was not here. He was not here, you know. And my father was really doing some crazy stuff. He one time called me on his birthday and was like, "You didn't call me for my birthday." I'm like, what? Like, is he serious? So, you know, I had an anger issue for years and years with my father. I didn't want to hear nothing about my father, but, you know, it was just really crazy because I was turning into him. He was not even there. I don't feel he was there that strong enough
for him to even make an impact.
Yes, but he made an impact. I have like a few stories. My father took me to a seafood restaurant, and I had shrimp and oysters. I don't remember what else, but that was my. I still love seafood. That was my thing. My father worked in the Queens, so he wore overalls in the Queens. But on his way to work, my father dressed up every day. He would be in a suit and tie to go to the Queens.
Wow.
He would get there, he planned over it. He would leave the Queens, get back on the suit stuff, and come back on.
So you got that from mom and dad?
Mom and dad. Most definitely. The jazz thing, I didn't like it. I hated it coming up. I don't understand why he able to sound a whole bunch of music. I don't know when it happened. Somewhere, it just boom. I fell in love with jazz.
And you already loved gospel.
And my mom, now my mom loved quartets. So that's what we played a lot of. But she took me to see, when there was choirs in town, she said, James loves choir, I'm going to take him to see a choir. She said, Mr. James Cleveland. Wow. He did a concert here, and my mother said, I'm going to take you to meet James Cleveland. I was like, I don't even know, my mother was not know who's who. My mother,
but she got you to James Cleveland.
She got me to James Cleveland. I'll never forget. She took me downstairs, and she went. She said, "Stand up." I felt like she went to the dressing room, and she came back out. She said, and he came and shook my hands up, and he said, "Your mother told you to sing and you could play." And he said, "I want you to come to the GMWA. We got a place for you, the young people that are." And I thought it was so funny. I never forget. Now, this is the part I remember about. After she finished saying what he said, he had to have something.
She already knew.
Oh my God! She was like, "I She didn't say those words, but that's what she.
Yeah. Oh, I love it.
Oh, we ain't fooling with that.
So, in the era where there's a Hezekiah Walker, there are your Milton Brunsons and your Wilmington Chesters and all these choirs singing gospel music. You emerge onto the scene with this new sound in gospel music, gospel jazz, the choir way.
Right.
And you skyrocket.
It's crazy. I mean, when we were singing in school, it was the James Wilson Gospel Choir. And when we graduated, everyone was like, oh my God, I miss you, do all that. But we had started going out to sing, like, when our friends would have something to school time, we would go sing. And then so he was like, we was like, but we're not leave. I said, no, I thought I'm going to keep the choir going. I said, what's going to be our name? And I never forget, it was a girl named Marlene, me, and a guy named Jeffrey that was standing there from the school. And I was like, this should be great. It was like, yeah. So we got the name. That's how we got the name. And we started, doing our little gigs. We put our names on programs. We were showing up. Okay. And
we started bringing you to Baltimore.
That's right. We started showing up places. And it was just crazy. Then, I said to Melvin. Melvin wasn't in like the first few months. Because it was just like my friends in school. So then I started bringing like other friends. And I said, no, you should come back to the first show. Just crazy. He said, I'm going to come. And he came and he played the drums because I was in the order. And he was like, I'm going to play the drums. I was like, okay. Because he didn't know the song. I had started with my songs. So he, like the first few weeks he was coming as my drummer. Can you believe that? Then now Melvin had not started writing.
Melvin was so gifted.
Yeah, he was. He was not writing yet. Right? And like he came back like after like a month, he was like, that's what I wrote a song. I was like, what? I was like, teach it. And that's how the James Hall and Melvin writing song. Because after he started writing that song, he was writing fluently every week. Wow. We was doing stupid stuff like, he was like, I wrote a song, Call on Me. I was like, oh my God, I wrote a song, Call on Me. He was like, oh, let me change the title. We were so connected. That's good. It was amazing.
Such a musical marriage.
It
Rest in peace, Melvin.
Oh my God.
One of the greatest.
One of the greatest.
Being introduced into the variations of gospel music. I don't want to say the behind the scenes, but behind the scenes.
It was really behind the scenes.
Yeah. Because back then there was a level of discretion. These millennials and this next generation, they lack discretion.
Yeah.
And they want hope because they've been tainted with so much in terms of the church, gospel music, the gospel world, all of that. So that's why even gospel music is attempting to be likened unto the world, to be accepted almost. Yeah. But to fast forward to what you recently dealt with, it was a very public embarrassment. It was a very public disrespect. It was a very public annoyance because of who you are and what God had done for you, where God had taken you. And this is not to make excuses, so to speak, but the enemy, without help sometimes, more often than not, it's a trap. We don't see it, but then it becomes that. And I specifically, as I said at the beginning, wanted to sit down and talk to you because, again, nobody has talked to you. Everybody's talked around you. You had to defend yourself. You said nothing. You said some things. You had some people say some things for you, but nobody has talked to you. I wanted to talk to my friend. And though you and I had conversations over the phone or whatever the case may be, I think people need to know your heart behind that. I think people need to hear your thought. Let's talk about that. Let's take James, take us to that place.
Well, I don't even know where to begin, but I'll just say it was like a storm. You know, I look at it in spiritual, and it was like a great storm came in my life. It was like I woke up and was in a storm. It was just like it was like an early call, like somebody died.
Yeah,
and it was like, who?
You had a friendship with somebody, and that relationship took a terrible turn. And that terrible turn went very public from various newspapers, vlogs, social media, the whole 9 yards. Talk about that from James Hall. Because we're not talking to him, we're not allowing social media or anything else to dictate this moment. Let's talk about that.
Well, like you said, it was, like I said, it was like I woke up and it was like, I can't, it's just like a bomb had dropped in me. And so I'm like, wait a minute. So it was like the first thing, I'm a little weird. Like when stuff happened, it's almost like I pass out. It's like I laid right back down and just like slept. I slept. And I didn't answer the phone. I just slept. I would turn over and I would look at text. This is what you know, saying. This is what's out there now. This is what's going on now. This is what's saying. I was turning right back. The only people I could talk to, it would be about 3 of my friends that were very close to me. And they would call me back. Or they would come by the crib like, come on, you gotta get you out. You gotta get you out. And I was like, but I was just numb. I didn't say anything, I took care, I did what I had to do legally, and I had got bad advice on that with how I handled it. And it's so many bad layers in here, and to get to where it's like it's so much that I can't even, because it shouldn't have went the way it went.
Absolutely.
So it went that way because of bad legal information. So everything is out there. So now I'm like, I haven't spoken to my family yet. I'm just talking to the same clique of friends. So I'm like, I know my family is very strong, very strong-minded, and I'm that way too. So I'm like, how is this going to work? How is this going to play out? And nobody from my family had called me like first 3 days. Nobody called. I knew they knew. So I was like, what is happening?
They probably didn't even know what to say.
Yeah. And then I'm the baby. They're very protective.
They're like, should we be fighting?
Yeah, they didn't know who to fight. They didn't, it was just like, it was just so much. And so, all out, I would come back home, and like I said, I would sleep. And then I just closed on my faith. And it sounds really corny that way, but I woke up into a storm. It was just like a big disaster. And it wasn't supposed to be that way because I got bad legal advice and I dealt with somebody that didn't know me. So I was dealing with a situation where I was trying to deal with and we got my words there for that. Yeah, I was what I was suing for when I went to the lawyer. I'm trying to think what it was. Oh, defamation of character.
Yeah, because
it was defamation of character. I was being bullied.
Because for me, from the outside looking in, social media wise, it was like a relentless kind of situation.
all day.
And
So
I saw that for myself.
right. And so I was dealing with that. So I was attacking that. But when it got in the wrong hands, it came back, a whole nother story. And like, like I was being a jerk, like I was trying to deny. That wasn't even, my issue wasn't even about whatever happened on the personal. It was what you were doing in the public that I was trying to attack. But it got turned all the way around, and reporters got to it, said things I've never said. I never interviewed anybody. No one interviewed me about
Did y'all
that.
hear this?
No,
This is his very first interview.
This is the first time I'm speaking about it. I never did an interview with any reporter, and they were saying I said this, I said that, I called him this, and I was like, I never spoke to nobody. This was like, no, but mind you, this is the next day after I made my snap. So I hadn't even, when was I going to have an interview?
There was not even an action.
It was no
time to have
to do that. So what happened was, now all these lies out there that I did this, I said this, I said this, I said this. So now everybody's attacking what I said, which
you never even said.
Yeah, I never spoke to anybody. So then I'm like, okay. At this point, I'm like, okay, God, why you let this happen to me? And I gotta say, that's where I was at with it. I was like, hey, I've been faithful. I never stopped going to church. When I was, felt like leaving, I stayed. I was faithful. I was in church every Sunday, all day. I couldn't understand it. That's how this happened to me. I had such a good name. And my mother, I felt like I heard my mother. And my mother was like, I love you. Just keep your name. And so this is all going on, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. So I would just sleep. I slept through all of it. And every morning, and this went for, I'm going to say, maybe like a month. If it wasn't a month, 3 weeks, every morning I would my phone rang at 6:30, 7 a.m. They were telling me what else was out there. I never looked at it. I never want to look at it. Unless people were sending me stuff.
If me already knowing the mental turmoil that you could possibly be enduring, I would not add to it.
No. The people will add to it. And I mean, every day, I was getting a call. It started, I don't know what it was. Maybe the vlogs were coming out early in the morning. I don't know what it was. 6 and 7 a.m. My phone would be like, walk in. I'm saying, I just sent you something. Check this out.
But that was probably the last thing.
Yeah. That was it.
If anything, I would have wanted to throw your phone.
Yeah.
Get your phone away. Because you had already experienced enough.
But I don't know what people, I guess they wanted me to know. So I just was like, yeah, okay, whatever. I just was like, I became numb.
I knew you were so tired.
I was numb. I was just like, oh, that's
how has that impacted your career? I know, and I'm going to jump into your new place and what God has done now. But because that's very new. But from that point up until that transition, how has that impacted your music career?
Oh, it was. And I didn't think it was. I didn't think it was at first. Because with all the blogs, I got a lot of hate on social media. But with all that, I got more love than hate.
Because people need a heart.
And that's what I got a lot, when I tell you, from all over the world. It was so crazy. I was like, what? This thing has gotten all, it was all over the world. I did not even think I was that important.
Listen,
I didn't know, really. The first day, it was a big storm. I was like, oh, it's here in New York. But when I tell you the thing was worldwide, it was worldwide. It's unbelievable. I had conferences that canceled me. I had and those were deposits were always they couldn't get back. It was like just keep the deposit because they didn't even want to touch me during the situation. It was crazy. It was all over the world, and I didn't even know what to do. I didn't know how I was going to deal with it, but it was affecting my gigs. Um, had, but I think a lot of the artists were calling me.
Because you aren't the first, and
right,
you definitely won't be the last.
Definitely not.
From the pulpit to the door.
I felt like after mine, I felt like it was something every week after that.
Yeah, I mean, and honestly,
I was going, oh my God.
Unfortunately, a scandal is only a scandal until the next scandal happens.
Most definitely. And they started popping up afterwards. But you know what? I grabbed to my faith, and I knew one thing that always got me together was prayer. So those days I was like staying in the bed there, I sat up, and I would go lay on my floor in my living room and cry out to the Lord for hours. I would be crying out to the Lord. And it was like good to get that out, but it really was strengthening me because I can't even tell you when it happened. I got to a place where I didn't feel what anybody was saying, and I had friends that were encouraging.
And that's what I saw. I saw your strength in this moment that was sent. Not to say that you didn't cry.
No.
Not to say that you didn't hurt. Not to say that you weren't embarrassed.
All that.
But I saw your strength pulled out. In a moment that was sent to weaken.
It really was like, it was almost like God put a spell on it, because it's like I got up off my knees one day and was just like, all right, well, it's out there now. I'm going to get myself together and going out, and I'm going to get my snap going, because I was out for maybe like a week, and I said, what? I went to my tea and started in my tea again.
And then here's the thing, from that point, now, you've been elevated.
Yeah, because I got new fans now.
You got new fans. Listen, publicity is publicity, whether it's good publicity or bad publicity. And I found in this social media world, people will start following and want to know because of the bad thing or the negative energy or attention that drew them to you. So yeah, it works for you. So now you're able to use that platform to exhibit your strength and your witness. And even now, God has sent you to a whole new place. I mean, Citadel is your home, most definitely. But you're now at the historic church in Newark as the minister of music.
Crazy. I wasn't looking for it. It wasn't like I was out here looking for a job. It just happened just like that. Just like that. Like I was saying, I went back, I started going out. I started going to functions, and the people were so confused. Because I was walking around.
He came to our launch party, the end of May launch party, and we had a ball. He texted me, he said, I'll be there. I sent you the invite. I'm going to always invite you, but if you had have not come, I would have understood. But you showed up, you was early. I mean, and we had a blast, like you were out, and I was that alone exhibited strength.
Most definitely.
And then now you're able to bring that gift to Newark.
Most definitely. And let me tell you, before I even get to Newark, let me talk about what really helped me get through it. My family. Because now, they were quiet. So I said, let me make these calls. I called my sister. Now, I remember the date. She said,
I can imagine.
She was like, why are they doing this to you? Who's doing this to you? Why is this happening? I mean, it was just like, she said, because she said people were trying to tell. She said, I told them to send me anything. She said, I didn't want to see anything. as my sister. It started with her. And then my brother, who is really in the street, so he was a whole different place. But he was in the hospital during this whole thing, recuperating. So I'm like, okay, God, what is this? Because he could not even do anything. So I go see him in the hospital, and the words that he said to me, I mean, it was just like, now, my brother's a very manly man, and what he said to me, like, made me cry. Now, he didn't see that. This was like, his thing was, I love you. I don't care what nobody's saying out there. He said some other things, but that was the main point. My other brother, he didn't speak on it at all. He said he don't want to talk about it. He's good. Love my concern. I'll tell you. And I got some Church of God in Christ family members. I reached out to them, and when I got on the phone with them, they started speaking in tongues and pleading the blood on the enemy that was trying to destroy me. So I was like, okay, my family's cool. I'm good, because I never would want to mess up my family name. And so once we got past that, I was like, well, let me say this. You're always representing yourself, your gift, and the kingdom. Very respectfully, very diplomatically, and with much tact. And in closing, I would like you to just speak to somebody that may have that moment, that standard, that trial. You deposited a lot, but from your heart, speak to that place and tell them how they can get there. You gotta have something, first of all. And I hate to see people that's been in church all their life. And I didn't want to be one of those people. And I had to speak that to myself. I was like, you've been in church all your life, all this praying, dancing, speaking in tongues. Now you're in a storm, because I did. I was at that place, I was ready to give up. That's the human that was inside me. Absolutely. And that's what I grabbed that's my faith. When I said that praying and fasting, and I'm not trying to be super deep. I'm telling you, that's what I did. And then when I tell you the strength came like overnight. I can't even explain it. A peace came. I didn't even care. I still had some people trying to put on something. I don't even care. Don't tell me about it. I don't want to hear about it. I'm like, really? I don't want to hear about it. I'm good. I was going on like I didn't see anything. I don't want to know anything. And I got back into my word. I got back, because we get out of our word. We get out of our word. I just went back and reading my word. I was getting up every morning, when instead of answering the phone, I would get up and go and lay on my floor in my living room and pray. And that built me back up. And people was like, oh my God, this didn't bother you. I was like, you're crazy. I said, but what kind of Christian am I if I've been in church all these years? And all I got is all these years. It's all I got is all these years. Like something happened, it wipes me now. Because I've seen it. I have friends that want not even half of what I went through. They're done. They ain't back in church still. Because I got there. I was there. Because I was like, wait a minute. Do these people not know me? And I got to see where, I hate to do it, but I got to see where the black church is at. Because I have Christian white friends as well, who was like totally different. It was like, oh my God, we're sorry to have to, but God is good. Don't worry about that. They would, I couldn't believe, and then I couldn't believe that, because everybody was like, there's receipts, but there were no receipts. But it didn't matter. And because I knew what was coming out before it came out. So I was like, I don't know about that, because it's not true. So I worry about it. But the next day, it was like, oh, I can't. I knew it. This is from the church. Oh, I knew it. I knew it. I knew that was going on. I knew this. I knew. I was like, what? They knew so much. Everybody knew that something that was not true. So my thing was, it did put me in a place where I was like, I'm done. I was like, you know what? At the end of the day,
Somebody needs your witness.
That's right. I said, that's what I said, God, this has got to be for somebody else. And then church is this for me. Mm-hmm. I ain't doing this. Mm-hmm. I got my people in church, of course, but I ain't there for that. My relationship is this way, not that with these people. I don't do that. So I be in, I get my word, and I'm out. I'm out. I'm at New Hope. It's a wonderful,
the historical New Hope.
Historical.
The church Whitney Houston was a member of, and her mother's a member of.
She's still there. Sissy is still there. She's still there.
Well, there you have it, live, uncut, straight from the mouth of the man himself, Professor James Hall. His first live exclusive interview. He's now being rebuilt, rebranded. He looks better than ever, doing better than ever, and we celebrate you.
I appreciate it. And thank you all y'all that was praying for me through that whole thing. I know everybody wasn't bashing me. Some people were praying for me, and I appreciate it. And anybody that's going through it, you can make it. Trust me, you can make it. Turn your face to God, turn away from everything else, and let Him work it out.
This is why he is who he is. Thank you so much, James, for sitting down with MTV, with Miss Ericka.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you for this exclusive. I don't think nobody else could have got this. No. And I thank you for honoring me and honoring my vision. Thank you so much. There you have it. James Hall, the professor himself, with Miss Ericka J on MTV.